everyone. Okay, so it's been highly requested that I talk about my weight loss on this channel, so I thought I would do that. And I thought while we do it, why don't we do a get ready for bed with me. So I'm gonna take off my makeup and I'm gonna talk about some of the issues I had health-wise while I was morbidly obese. If you follow this channel, you will know that when I first started it 3 years ago, I was 276 pounds. I'm now 145 pounds. I was a size 3X and I'm now a size medium. In some garments I'm a small, in some I'm a large. So, and that has to do with my body shape. Okay, so I'm gonna start taking off my makeup while we talk. I like to use Vaseline. So yes, I'm gonna put some eyes. So when I was overweight, I had a lot of issues with my heels, the heels of my feet. They would crack, and they would be very painful to walk on and have big gaps in them. And no matter what I would do, lotion, or putting like the eggs to clean the bottom of your foot. So I would use those, like the Puma Stone, and it would just get worse. And I'm gonna take it off with a hot rag. So that was one of the issues I had. Another issue I had was I would sweat all the time. I would constantly have just a layer of sweat on my can't talk, on my upper lip. And it was like I was constantly hot. No matter what the temperature was, no matter how much I was wearing, I felt hot. And I would be profusely sweating. Under my armpits would be just covered in sweat. In between my legs would be covered in sweat. The back of my arms, in between my creases and my elbows, behind my kneecaps, everything would be sweaty. And there was nothing I could seem to do. I would change deodorants. I would change the type of way that I would the dress. I would put on all the AC, and nothing seemed to help. I did showers, and that gets me into my next point. Excuse me. I had this body odor that no matter what. Okay. Got interrupted. Okay, so I had a body odor that I couldn't get rid of, and I had it everywhere, and that was new to me. Before, when I was in my teens, I never had a smell. When I got into my early 20s, I didn't have a smell. But as I gained weight and I got into the higher 200s, it really started increasing. And so no matter what type of deodorant I was using, what type of body wash I was using, how many times a day I showered, it didn't seem to matter. I still had a body odor. I still smelled. My female smell still smelled, which I never had an issue with before. But as I gained more weight, it was as if my body was telling me I wasn't healthy. I wasn't taking care of myself. And for my size, being 5'4", that's a lot of weight. 276 pounds is a lot of weight on my frame. I have a very small, petite frame, and being 5'4", that is a lot of weight to carry on that frame. Hi everyone, this is Mercedes. If you're a new follower to my channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. Can't talk. Hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. Hit the like button, and it helps me get spread around so people can see me. This is lost my mind. This is Be You with a Life Worth Living. I'm Mercedes. This is my life. All right, next we're gonna put on lotion, and I'm gonna talk about my last 2 points since losing weight and reflecting back. So when I say I would get out of breath, I don't mean 3 flights of stairs. I mean 3 literal stairs. I would get so winded that I couldn't breathe. My chest would feel heavy. I felt like I was going to collapse. And that started making me realize that I wasn't healthy. There was no healthy at every size. Because at 5'4", 276 pounds, I was most definitely not healthy. I was obese and my body was crushing itself. My lungs couldn't keep up with it. My muscles couldn't keep up with it. Having fibromyalgia and endometriosis, my body couldn't survive that. It was in pain constantly, all the time. It was being squashed. And next, I'm going to go to my mindset. So, why did I get to 276 pounds? Well, you see, when I got married, I was at the lowest weight I had ever been in, I would say, my entire life since I'd been 13. I was 178 pounds walking down the aisle. I still have my measurements to this day. I can insert them here. I'm even smaller than that now. I'll take new measurements and clip them here. But after that, my mindset really changed because I was in a cult. As many people know, I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses. And they have a belief that one day everyone will be resurrected on a paradise earth. And in this paradise earth, you will be beautiful, you will be fit, you will be the perfect version of yourself. Beautiful idea, right? Sort of. To get there, everybody dies, that God doesn't approve of. So that's kind of a depressing thought. Can't really make friends. And my friends inside of this organization didn't really talk with me because I had had a baby. And before I had had the baby, I had been kind of distancing myself from the organization and not attending as many meetings, and I wasn't as regular. Next would be I would get really, really out of breath. And this, when I say out of breath, I'm talking, I walk up 3 stairs and I would get so winded. I would have to take a break and pause. Now, granted, if you follow me on Facebook, as I've mentioned before, that my weight had fluctuated before and I had been on crash diets before, and so I would lose some weight and then gain it all back again, and it'd bring friends, as I've said. Life. Okay. So, before I got pregnant with my first child, I had been trying to distance myself, mostly because I was depressed. I didn't really get along with the new congregation that we'd moved to. Some of them would still hang out with me, and I kind of started seeing who my real friends were and who my friends weren't, who really liked me for me and who was just hanging out with me because I was attending the meetings. Really, Isle? My cat's going to come in the picture. So I started distancing myself because I started feeling really depressed, and I didn't know what to do about that. And growing up, the way you could comfort yourself, the thing that you turned to, what you were allowed to do was eat. So I comforted myself with food. And in between those times, I wouldn't eat, because what better way to offset all that eating than to not eat? So then we moved back, and my mindset changed again. And I met a couple. I will leave them unnamed. If I have to name them, I'll just make up names for them. So they had the mindset that it was healthier to stay the size that I am than to lose weight, because the efforts I would have to go to would be so extreme that it would be far better to stay on the course of action I was on than to try to lose weight, and thereby I'd make it into paradise and God would give me a new body. Sounds reasonable, right? I guess. Sort of. I don't know. Well, anyways, so with that mindset, I ate more. And when we go to gatherings, nobody would talk to me. Ugh, that word, I just used it again. For most people, the word gathering doesn't have any connotation, but in the GW community, it is the term used for any time of associating with the congregation outside of the Kingdom Hall. So there was always tons of food at these things, and people would always send me home with food. But those are plenty of other stories. I've gotten food poisoning. Ugh. We don't want to discuss that. Okay, so my mindset continued like that, and I continued in my depressive state, and I started unwinding and realizing that what I was in didn't really make sense, and that the organization and the religion that I had grown up in and that I had believed was the truth, that the albeit end all it religion, didn't really line up with my values, my personal beliefs, and how I felt. And it started to click that something wasn't right, but I didn't know how to look for that or what to do, because in my mind growing up, you couldn't look outside of the religion for any sources. You had to look inside the religion to solve the religion's problems, because anywhere outside of it, they wouldn't have the means to help you, so to speak. So I continued along this mindset that, oh, well, they've got the answers. They'll come out with new light, and that new light will somehow make it all right. It will somehow smooth over all the doubts and make it all better. So I stayed at home eating, taking care of my newborn, taking care of my toddler, stuffing my face. The only time I got invited was in the occasional time to go eat, or I'd get the old come to meeting and then we'll take you out. That meant to go get food. So bigger and bigger I got, because food was my comfort. I had no friends. I had nobody to talk to, nobody to hang out with, because they'd always ask, are you going to meeting? Did you study? Did you pray about it? Have you talked to the elders? So, I ate. I didn't even enjoy the food. I didn't chew it most of the time. I just put it in my mouth and I swallowed it. And that mindset, pardon me, that mindset is a hard one to break. And it took a long time for me to realize how unhealthy that mindset was. I didn't exercise. I thought, I have fibromyalgia. There's no reason to exercise. I can't. I'm too weak. I'm too tired. And I genuinely was. And the mental strain of having no one to talk to. Granted, I had my husband, but growing up the way I did, couldn't talk to family because they'd want you to talk to the elders. There were certain family members I couldn't talk to, or I felt I couldn't talk to because of the way we grew up. They were worldly, another JW term. And because they were that way, they didn't grow up at JW, so they were outside the religion because of the us versus them mentality. I couldn't go to them. I couldn't ask them for help. I couldn't tell them what was going on. I couldn't tell them how I felt. In front of people, I'd eat the smallest of meals. I'd eat what traditionally I should eat, and then I'd go home and engorge myself on the rest. And that's not healthy. That's not beautiful. Yes, I still had beautiful characteristics. Yes, I still try to help my friends. I will always try to help my friends. But that mindset took me from 178 pounds to 276 pounds. And that is not healthy. I got to the point where I looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize myself. But for a long time, I kept naively tricking myself into believing that I looked fine. Oh, it's okay. I look great. We'll just get a bigger dress. It's okay. It's not you. It's the fabric. It's the clothes. Well, yes, that's a whole nother video. There is sometimes when you're shopping retail, it's not you, it's the garment, guaranteed. But quite often we say our pants aren't getting bigger, or our pants are getting smaller, when really the truth of the matter is we're the one gaining weight. We're the ones that have changed our habits, that our habits have gotten out of hand and we're now gaining weight. At least that's what happened with me. All I can speak from is personal experience and what I know. And for me, that's how it worked. So the weight was a steady weight gain. over several years. And so by the time my daughter was 2 and I wanted to start trying for my second, we were having a really hard time. I was really big, and it started affecting my fertility. It started affecting my cycle. It started affecting lots of things with my health-wise. If you're out of breath, then you can't really do anything. You can't really, there's tons of positions you can't do. You can't go for very long. Sometimes even getting there is hard because there's so much in the way that doesn't have to be. So, and if you'd like to know more, if you'd like to know how I lost the weight, if you'd like to know how I changed this mindset, what steps I took, if you'd like to know how I'm doing now, if you have any questions, comments, like and subscribe. Drop your comments below. Let me know what you think.